21.
Welcome to Minehead, one of the biggest tourist centres in the West Country, ever since nude bathing, purely for health reasons of course, became popular in the 1750s. It's very tidal, as you can see. Nowadays, tens of thousands of visitors come here every year for the sun and the sea that's somewhere out there at the moment. And this year, their number's been added to by 30 giants from as far afield as Shetland, Newcastle, North Wales and Tipperary. One of them will be Britain's strongest man and will lift the Citroën Vans trophy.
Shake what your mama gave ya. Shake what your mama gave ya. Shake what your mama gave ya. Left, right, and back.
There's a change to the format this year. 30 strongmen taking part, but just 3 heats with 10 in each. The top 3 go through to the final, and the last space is reserved to the highest scoring lucky loser. And you know, these 10 weigh the same as your car.
Giant Farmer's Walk.
Well, the second heat begins down on the seafront. It's a bit chilly, but it's a glorious blue sky. But the wind is so strong, it could almost blow these guys down the course if it wasn't for 2 massive weights holding them down.
This is a total weight of 320 kilograms. That's over 700 pounds. These knurled handles are going to dig into the skin. They're going to rip the skin away from the athlete's hands. I'll be very surprised if anybody can make this 25-metre course in one attempt.
Describing the action, Paul Dickinson.
So our first 5 strongmen out on the course. It's very blustery down here on the seafront. But glorious sunshine for Adrian Davies, the first of our competitors in Heat 2. Comes from Neath in his 2nd year of Britain's Strongest Man competition. Neil Elliott from Scotland, one of Scotland's top shot putter and discus throwers. Next to him, Eddie Elwood, 40 years old, 5 times he became Mr. Universe in bodybuilding. Then Paul Wood, a comparative novice, only his 2nd Britain's Strongest Man from Whitstable in Kent. And finally, Brian McMullen, 35 years old, from Coleraine in Northern Ireland.
Take your grip!
So 25 metres. Away we go. Oh, and Eddie Elwood's got a head start over the rest. He's being closely followed by Neil Elliott just inside him. But it's Eddie Elwood, the former champion bodybuilder, who's streaking away with this. Oh, he's come down 2 metres too early. Eddie Elwood goes over the line, though. A brilliant start for him. And look how far behind the rest are. Blimey. Neil Elliott struggling a wee bit. Outside him, Adrian Davies, the former rugby player. Elliott, the track and field man, who's just struggling a wee bit now. Davies fighting to stay ahead of Elliott, and he's done exactly that. Can Elliott come back? Yes, he can. A 75-second time limit, and the whole of that weight has got to go over the line. So Adrian Davies looking for a 2nd place, and Elliott's fast on his heels. Davies gets it, though. Elliott is next. And then we're waiting for Paul Wood, the lightest man in this heat. Just scrapes over the line. He's got a little bit more work to do. And finally, Brian McMullen, coming up towards the time limit of 75 seconds. A glorious start for Eddie Elwood on a glorious day here in Minehead. It's all over. We've got 5 more strong men to come. But what a start. Disappointing for Brian McMullen.
Awesome start, eh?
Yeah, I was a bit upset with dropping them near the end of too near the floor and touch the bottom. So normally I'd do that distance, I'll put them down, but maybe it costs us a couple of seconds, so I hope Bill doesn't beat that, you know, because Bill's good at this.
Every year people think Elwood's the man. Is this the year?
Well, I'm a year older and it doesn't get any easier, but I feel a lot fitter this year, a lot stronger apart from a small injury I've got on the shoulder, which is just one event, so we'll see.
Well, the Bill he was referring to is Bill Pittock, who's in our next group of 5, very experienced man. But first of all, we're going to see Rodney Fullerton from Dungannon in Northern Ireland. He weighs in at a massive 160 kilos. Then Bill Pittock, a former finalist and England's strongest man and a world's strongest man competitor. Then the highly promising Ollie Thompson from Bexhill-on-Sea, former winner of the South of England's strongest man. Tim Thacker, Tiny Tim, his second year of Britain's Strongest Man competition from Yorkshire. And Stuart Wadley, all the way from the Shetland Islands, his very first time in this competition.
Take your grip.
So, a cracking time by Eddie Elwood, 16.56 seconds to beat. That's Ollie Thompson, but Bill Pittock, as we thought, is going, but he's going a little bit away to the left-hand side. He's back on track now, being chased by Ollie Thompson. Ollie Thompson, can he get on terms with Bill Pittock? No, he can't. Bill Pittock goes over the line, not quite as fast as Eddie Elwood. And in fact, Ollie Thompson put the weights down too early, but that is a great start by Ollie Thompson. And that means that Eddie Elwood has won this. And Bill Pittock is saying, what time was it? He's not sure. And Rodney Fullerton at the top of the picture, and the rest just struggling a wee bit. Rodney Fullerton, actually, Northern Ireland powerlifting champion, is away again. He is a farmer, so competing in the farmer's walk. And he weighs over 160 kilos, so he is the heaviest man in this heat. And it's a massive weight these guys have got to try and carry. Nearest the camera, Stuart Wadley. Tim Thacker is there as well. This is Wadley, came all the way down from the Shetland Islands. He's very much lighter than the likes of Rodney Fullerton. Fullerton is away again. Just 4 seconds left on the clock, and certainly Rodney Fullerton will finish ahead of Tim Thacker and Stuart Wadley. Absolute exhaustion for these three guys, and what a performance by the winner in our first event, Eddie Elwood. Rodney Fullerton finishes in about 8th place.
I thought you were drunk at the outset. You're all over the place.
It's just a really awkward to carry. The weight's nothing really, it's just they're so long and awkward. I've never done them before that long. Just went off too fast like I normally do. Did a bit of a dance, but got 2nd place, not too bad.
You looked very, very confident at the end of it.
Yeah, grips very good at the minute. Everything's really good. Got a few little niggly injuries, but I'm 41 now, so expect that.
Ollie, how happy were you with that?
I'll take 3rd. You and Eddie keep with me doing all right. You know what I mean? Like you said, just awkward, not too heavy. Missed about the end, thought over the line, I wasn't, so I lost a few seconds there, but these things happen.
What is it that keeps you coming back?
I've been training with Ollie, Adam Townsend, Ed Wallace and all them. I've been training really well, so I might as well have a go. If I'm doing the training, I might as well carry on. It's not me who wants to retire, it's everybody else, wife, family. I feel all right. I'm stronger than I've ever been.
Less than a second in it, but Elwood and Pittock could be the men to catch here in what's bound to be a very competitive heat. A good event for experience there. Eddie Elwood has been many people's idea of a winner for the past couple of years, only to be undone by injury. He, though, looks in fine shape this time around. And Bill Pittock is the Mr. Consistency of strongman, and he's bound to be a contender once again. If you think it's hard work being a strongman, it's nothing compared to the real jobs.
We're in Cows Road, Northern Ireland, near Dungannon, where I work with my dad and my mum. We milk cows, we feed beef, and we have 2 houses of hens, little chickens. Yeah, I enjoy it most of the time. You never do the same thing twice. You're going to have to milk the cows, but then you could be in the tractor, you could be running after cattle, you could be doing anything. It's that way it's fun. You work your own hours, but then again, you can't really get away from the place either. You have to be here 24 hours a day. Same for strongman and being a farmer, it's hard. Like. Sometimes I have to train late at night. Like so Tuesdays, I don't go to the gym till about 9:30, 9:45, but you get away, you have to do it. If I didn't do it, I'd go mad. Even if I wanted, I wouldn't give the farm up. Like, I couldn't give the farm up, because like, what would I do? Sit in the house, train? It would just turn into a job. It would turn into a job, you think about it. And then it wouldn't be as much fun.
Well, how much fun is this next event going to be as we head down to the harbour?
Squat lift.
This may be mainly a tourist resort these days, but there's still a vibrant angling community, and in a recent competition, one boat alone caught 2,450 pounds of fish. Even this lot would struggle lifting that.
I tell you what, John, the strongmen are going to struggle with this. It's the squat. It starts off at 230 kilograms. It tests legs, back and hip strength, and it finishes at 330 kilograms. That's like having a small car resting on your shoulders.
Representing Ireland.
It certainly is. And here goes Rodney Fullerton, our farmer. And this really should be a favourite event for Rodney. He is a powerlifting champion. I'll tell you what, it's going to have to be a big motorbike for him to get on it. He weighs 160 kilos himself. The starting weight, 230 kilos, over 500 pounds. As soon as he squats it successfully, which I'm sure he will, more weight will be added. That looks pretty good. In fact, Dougie Edmonds has said no lift. The stanchions didn't touch the floor, so Rodney Fullerton looking a bit perplexed there. He's got to do it all over again. That could be a disadvantage. That is a good lift. So he gets the first lift, 20 kilos is added. Looks pretty easy to me at the moment. The guy on the right-hand side there, just holding the stand, Gregor Edmonds, he finished second in last year's final. Decided to concentrate on track and field athletics, taking a bit of time out from strongman. Now Rodney Fullerton, I wonder how far he could throw the shot. I bet he'd be pretty useful. That's 5 good lifts for Rodney. But this should be bread and butter to this guy. A good squatter in powerlifting and a good squatter in Britain's Strongest Man here. 315 kilos he's done. And this to make the complete set, 7 lifts, 6 barrels, he can't do it. But that is a very good target. Rodney Fullerton only finished in 8th place in the last event, so he really needed a good score here, and I think he's got it. The time for lifting those 6 barrels, 51.64, and that will be crucial if anybody else matches his achievement.
Pretty hard. Yeah, it was okay. I'd been squatting for years, so in powerlifting competition, so I thought I was going to do well on that. It was very deep, though, very hard, but it's okay.
Tell us about the last one.
The last one was very, very heavy. Very, very heavy. I thought I would have got it. I felt my feet was too far forward, but it wasn't the right place. Just too heavy. On another day. It'll be a warmer day.
Is it your mind or your body that says no more?
Everything. Everything just goes, no, leave me alone. But it was okay. I'll do it sometime. Next time I do it, I'll get it.
That has to be one of the understatements of the century. It's heavy. It's very heavy indeed, even the first lift. And here goes Adrian Davis from Neath in Wales. Great rugby playing community. He used to be a rugby player, but now he's a strong man and he loves it.
Take the weight.
So Adrian Davis finished 4th in the first event, so a good start.
Squat.
And that is very good indeed. Good start. A little bit of a bounce off the bottom. There's nothing wrong in that. And this is looking promising for Davis. His 3rd lift. And that is 270 kilos, over 500 pounds. Now he's over 600 pounds. Another 15 kilo increase. It's now beginning to look a little harder. He needs one more to match the lifts of Rodney Fullerton. He can't quite do it. But that is another good performance. Adrian Davis acquitting himself very, very well so far in Britain's Strongest Man.
So how was that for you?
Good. Happy with the weight. I mean, I've never... 310's the most I've done in the gym, so building up to 300, ascending weights like that, I'm happy. So, yeah, good.
And what about the jolts that you get when the next barrel comes in?
It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's like you're waiting for it, the first one, but after the first one's over. So you don't know what to expect. The first one is strange, very unusual. But, no, I'm happy.
The Irishman and the Welshman certainly setting the standards. Tim Thacker could manage just 2 lifts after them. He was followed by Stuart Wadley. 3 lifts in 24.06. Now this is very, very hard. Don't ever underestimate that. Brian McMullen couldn't manage a single lift. He was followed by Paul Wood, 2 lifts in 13:52, and time was becoming crucial now because after him came Neil Elliott, 2 in 13:24. And an encouraging performance by the new kid on the block, Ollie Thompson, with 4 lifts in 18:49.
So it's still Rodney Fullerton in the lead with 6 lifts. I wonder what Bill Piddock can do about that. I'm not being rude when I say he's the old war horse. He certainly loves his food and his wife. So 6 is a massive target and a massive weight to boot. The knees well wrapped up. Just to add a little bit of protection, that looks good. And Bill Piddock has entered his 40th year feeling very strong and back to the sort of form that brought him all sorts of titles over the last 10 years. Now it looks harder. 4 lifts though, well on his way. Oh, he's blown it. I thought he was going to get 5, but that is just the 4 for Bill Piddock, but still keeps the pressure on the leader, Eddie Elwood, who goes next. So Bill Piddock, 4 in 15.58. Now the turn of Eddie Elwood, 5 times a Mr. Universe winner, and that hasn't been done since the days of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger. He really is massive. Inspiration, Muhammad Ali, and that goes for a lot of sportsmen, I'm quite sure. So here goes Elwood. He wants to win this title. The first job, though, is to make it safely through the heats. So can he match or even beat the target set by Rodney Fullerton? Very tight knee wraps. If you get a chance, just take a look at the size of this guy's legs. Absolutely enormous. Going for number 3, very, very easy. Eddie Elwood, 40 years old, like Bill Piddock, but looking and performing like a youngster. That is 5. So he goes ahead of Piddock, he goes ahead of Ollie Thompson, and he's drawn level with Adrian Davis, and he's got number 6. And it is faster than Rodney Fullerton, so he may well have seen a situation where it's 2 out of 2 for Eddie Elwood, and certainly this man is our leader after 2 events. Great performance from the guy from County Durham.
That's 2 events in a row for Eddie.
You're in pole position, you know, everything's going according to plan.
Next event's the one I'm worried about because I've got a shoulder injury. But it's one event that, because I'm so far ahead now, I suppose I can slack on a bit. So we'll see.
We mentioned it earlier on, you know, every year you're the man to beat and things have gone wrong for you. So does that sort of nag away at the back of your mind a bit?
Always. I think it's just age, really. I don't recover as quick nowadays. I get injuries. Hopefully, touch wood, and stay injury-free this year.
We knew before this heat began that Eddie Elwood was going to be the man to beat, and that's the way it's proving at the moment. He only just beat Rodney Fullerton on time, though, there. But if Eddie Elwood's going to win this heat, the big question is, who's going to fill the minor placings? So 2 out of 2 for the man with muscles in places that you and I don't even have places. Behind Eddie Elwood, though, everything to play for. So when you were a teenager, you know, what were your ambitions from a sporting perspective at that point?
As a boy, I was a decathlete. I was a bit of a long jumper, javelin thrower, discus thrower, shot.
You're obviously shot putting to a considerable standard nowadays. What ambitions can you still have in that respect?
Next Commonwealth Games. I think the standard to go to the next Olympics this year is very, very high, and it's going to take an absolute monster effort.
So what was it that suddenly made you say, I'll give strongman a go?
I'd always wanted to do it from seeing it on TV as a kid. So that was really the driving force when I was a kid, seeing likes of Jeff Capes and Magnus for Magnus and people like that on the TV, and I said, I fancy some of that.
And first impressions? Because it's a world apart, isn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable, different. This kind of thing is crazy. I mean, it's just mental. So, but I love it. It's good. It's up my street.
When you say mental, in what respect?
Just the aggression levels. You know, things are really heavy. I just told the coach I'd be back in one shape. You know, no tears, no broken bones, and I'm doing all right.
Overhead press.
Now here's a fact for you. Every year at the Butlins Holiday Resort, 225 tons of chips are eaten. And if they were laid end to end, they'd stretch from Minehead to Moscow. And they'd probably be consumed inside a week by these guys.
Take a 9-stone safe, then by using this revolving bar, attach it to another one. That's 18 stones in total that's got to be lifted overhead to arm's length. If that's not enough, it's got to be lowered under control, again and again and again.
75 seconds, the time limit. And here is a shot putter and discus thrower, Neil Elliott, representing Scotland. Looking very calm, very cool. And Rodney Fullerton, who finished a brilliant second in the last event, he's moved up from 8th place into 5th overall. So 75 seconds the time limit, to be lifted as many times as possible. Well, Elliott struggling a wee bit. Fullerton is away like a train. That is good. Whoops. Just be careful. Neil Elliott has got to lock his arms out. He's been given one, so that is okay. Fullerton makes it look very easy. I have to say, though, Fullerton, he weighs about 5 stone more than Neil Elliott, and that is a considerable weight. He's gone up to 3. Elliott is still struggling to try and get number 2 up. He just about does it, and then the last couple of inches are just beyond him. Fullerton's going well. The most number of lifts we've seen so far this year was in the last programme, when Andrew Rains completed a staggering 13. Just wonder if anybody can get as close as that. Fullerton 5, Elliott 1. That is 6 for Fullerton. So this looks as though it's a second good event in a row for the Northern Ireland man. And poor old Neil Elliott, well, he shakes his head and says no more. Fullerton saying yes, 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 he wants another one, and he gets it. That is 7, and I reckon that's going to be a total which will get him big points. I know it's early days in this competition, but 7 is a good score for Rodney Fullerton, the mild-mannered Northern Ireland man. And he's absolutely blown Neil Elliott away and set a very good target for the rest. That was superb.
The Magnificent 7.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it's enough.
Talk about the technique of that, because that would seem to be the hardest thing, to stop them swinging all over the place.
You're just supposed to do 1 rep. You got to put it on the ground. Just deaden, the weight's dead. And you lift it again, it'll still be shaking and you won't be able to press it again. So you have to take it right to the floor and start again.
How many do you think anybody else will get?
Hopefully less than 7.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. 2 very strong guys out on the platform now. Ollie Thompson from Bexhill-on-Sea, very muscular and obviously very strong too. He's in 4th place altogether. Obviously a very caring man and a good all-round sportsman too. And next to him, Adrian Davis, 1 place ahead of him in 3rd place. Looking a little bit pensive, as well they might. This is a very tough event. Ollie Thompson off to a very swift start there, not really using his legs, just pressing it, and again. Wow, he's away to a very explosive start. Davis has got 2, just wobbling a wee bit. Thompson 3, Davis 3, neck and neck. It's Bexhill-on-Sea against Neath in Glamorgan. These guys are looking good. I wonder if Rodney Fullerton's lead of 7 is going to be short-lived. However, they have slowed down a little bit, these guys. Ollie Thompson is incredibly muscular. Oh. Now the fatigue begins to set in. And can you believe it? In the space of 2 repetitions, they've almost come to a grinding halt. Thompson 6, Davis 5. Now, what could Davis do? Yes, he's got 6. He draws level with Ollie Thompson. And this is a good performance once again by Davis. He's not the biggest man in the competition, but he's very, very powerful as well as being very strong, and that counts. And Ollie Thompson's staggering all over the place. He cannot get number 7, but Davis has. Talk about the tortoise and the hare. Davis really has come from behind and got ahead of Ollie Thompson brilliantly. Thompson, he's had about 5 attempts now at getting number 7. He just can't do it. And both guys really just waiting for the whistle to blow for the end of time. Well, well, well. That tells us a lot about this event. Endurance is a factor.
Well done.
Yeah, pleased, really pleased. I've been training that event hard, so really going for that one now.
Rodney just gone before you and got 7.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit more of Rodney. Looks a powerful guy, so I was happy with that. I didn't know my dad.
Well, tell us how you were approaching that going into it.
I knew it was a good 4 me. The rest, crowd power. Yeah, they really keep it going. Yeah, I'm happy.
Two giants standing next to each other. Eddie Elwood and this man, Bill Piddock. Well, Bill Piddock's got his right arm heavily bandaged. I wonder if he's got a problem with his bicep or his tricep. The huge arms of Eddie Elwood. He's got massive arms, has Eddie. Years and years of bodybuilding have gone into building that body up. Push, and away we go. That is 1. He's not going to put it down in between 2. And Bill Piddock, I think he may have finished. Now Piddock is going to try another one. Meanwhile, Eddie Elwood moves on to 3 very, very quickly. But Piddock has got all sorts of problems. He can't even get it off his chest. Shakes his head and says that is enough. Eddie Elwood, meanwhile, carries on. So there was a problem with Bill Piddock's right arm. Totally disenchanted. He's pointing to one of his coaches in the crowd to say, yep, it hurts. Look at the size of Eddie Elwood's shoulders. And all Bill Piddock can do is stand and stare. And so Bill Piddock's chances of qualifying for the final now may have gone on this one event. No lift, says Douglas Edmonds. So that is one that is cut from what is a prodigious total. And he's got number 6, has he? It's a fight, it's a struggle. But he has locked out. The referee gives him it. That could have been 7 had one not been disqualified. Just staring down at the referee. Time is running out, and there goes the whistle. So Eddie Elwood finishes equal 3rd, and we have joint winners in this 3rd event. And Bill Piddock finishes with 0.
First of all, Eddie, tell us what's wrong with your shoulder.
I've got bad arthritis in this one. Me and Bill are one of the 2 oldest guys in the competition. And a couple of torn tendons, so I'm happy with 6, but I thought Dougie might have given us that other one. I felt as though I was locked out.
And what's wrong with you, Bill?
Earlier on in the year, I tore bottom half of my tricep. I just mentally just couldn't do it. I just daren't push it any further. But I knew this would be a bad event for me, so I've still got 2 good events, so it's not a bad injury, but if I make it any worse, it'll be a bad one. I won't be able to carry on, so.
Talk about mind over matter, Eddie. Yeah. That last one, you were fighting big time there, weren't you?
Yeah, and I knew I needed an extra point. Even though I've got a cushion, I want a bigger cushion. It's not over till it's over, so these guys could perform well tomorrow. So you've got to fight for everything.
Eddie Elwood is human after all. One big talking point down at the bottom there, Bill Piddock, an arm injury meant he didn't manage a single lift at all. And so if Eddie Elwood has got 1 foot in the final already, the question is, who is going to join him there? An already intriguing heat made all the more fascinating by Bill Piddock failing to score a single point there. He's now 5.5 points out of the automatic qualification spot. He is still there in contention, so it's going to be 3 from 5 for the final. When you look at the points table at the moment, do you think I'm in trouble?
Yeah. I've got to do some work, so. Normally I'm normally okay. I normally have a cushion, but this time I've got to really work for it, so. Which is good, really. That's for a good show, so.
We know about the injury that you've got. Will that affect either of the events you've got today?
No, I don't think so, no. It's a tricep injury, tricep elbow injury, so it should be okay. Every year I've got something wrong. Last year I broke my ankle, year before I had bronchitis. So hopefully this year I thought I'd be all right, but I'm not. So I'll still battle on. It's not finished yet.
Is the fight, is the fire still burning inside?
Yeah, still there, yeah. I had a lecture this morning off the wife, so. And the kids want to come down and watch me the final, so I've got to do something.
Now or never for the man from the Midlands as we head back to Butlins.
Stone Circle.
The Stone Circle is 285 kilograms, that's 630 pounds. Cradled in your arms, pressed against your ribcage and lungs. This is about endurance and the athlete that can get the furthest distance on just a few gulps of air.
Absolutely, it's very, very difficult to breathe. And that is what Tim Thacker and the rest are going to find. Tim Thacker down in 8th place at the moment. Extremely muscular and a former national under-21 powerlifting champion.
Take your position.
He needs a good effort here. He hasn't got very many points from the first 3 events, only 8 in total, and wants to put on a good show to get invited back next year. He's gone off like a rocket. Very short breaths indeed. Certainly round the circle once, no problem at all. Even the cameraman's having difficulty keeping up with him. And Tim Thacker is going well. Now the endurance factor really kicks in. He's struggling just a little bit. Oh my goodness, he slid about the last 2 meters. And that is around about 76 meters or thereabouts. That is a very, very good result indeed. We like that one, and that is certainly his best so far.
First event's all static strength. I'm a bit of a built for speed, so it's more for me as that event. You know, I'm a bit fitter than a couple of lads here, so that suits me better. I'm back.
Have you been a bit disappointed by performances up to now?
Yeah, I've trained very hard. I didn't stop competing last year, trained all the way through. I picked up a few injuries, so but you live and learn, don't you? That's what it's all about.
Because you must have come, you know, given last year, you must have come here quite optimistic this year. Thought you might make it to the final.
Yeah, I was coming so close last year. I was training so hard, but just towards the end of my training, I picked up a few injuries, and you can't do anything about that, can you? So, but just going to keep battling out.
Well, here goes Bill Piddock. Now, he reckons that his arm injury won't affect this event. I've got my doubts, actually. I noticed tricep. There'll be a lot of pressure on the bicep here, but a bad arm is a bad arm. He's got that bar, that beam, locked into his chest. You need very strong legs for this one, and also you need a very strong torso. He's actually got a towel wrapped around his stomach and then a belt wrapped around that just to give extra support. Each revolution is about 36 meters, so Bill Piddock is actually going well, and he's got ahead of Tim Thacker. This is a monster effort by Bill Piddock, and it's down at over 80 meters. Wow! I wonder if Bill Piddock is on his way to the final. We'll soon find out, but that is a massive effort. 85.5 meters for Bill Piddock. Excellent stuff.
Still 2 good ones to go. Ollie and Eddie, I know they're pretty good at it. But that's all I could do. Do my best. If that ain't good enough, we'll see.
But you must feel a bit happier now than you did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, I see Tim's pretty good at it as well. I see Tim go, he set the marker for me, so went for his marker. Just a bit past it, but...
How nervous were you before that?
I've been doing it that long, I don't get nervous no more. I've been competing 17 years, so I just don't get nervous. But we'll see.
You're in there?
Hopefully.
Well, that mark was certainly too much for our track and field man, Neil Elliott, 56.90 for him. And it was certainly too far for the man who'd come all the way from the Shetland Isles, Stuart Wadley, 54.80.
Well, unlike Bill Piddock, Ollie Thompson certainly hasn't got 17 years of experience behind him, only a couple of years of strongman competition. But already he's proved to be a major force, and he is bidding for a place in the final. He's lying in 4th place overall currently. And away we go. Bill Piddock's lead still stands, 85.5 meters. That is a staggering achievement. But Ollie Thompson has got all the equipment. Strong legs, strong back, immensely strong arms. And he's just got locked onto that beam. Look at the grip he's got there. A lot of French chalk. Helps the grip a little bit, but he's slowing down. And that is just over 66.5 meters. It's still a good score, but nowhere near Bill Piddock's 85 plus. Rodney Fullerton in 3rd place. 3 points behind Adrian Davis and a further 3 points behind Eddie Elwood. But he's in that 3rd qualifying spot for the final, which is good news if he gets a good result here. He's being pressured by Ollie Thompson and by the old man Bill Piddock. So Ollie Thompson, 66 metres, I guess that's his first target. Going well at the moment, goes over 40 metres, heading towards 50. Rodney Fullerton is walking well, looks pretty comfortable, and he's got that bar wrapped up to his massive chest, but now he's suffering. Oh, it went down very quickly, and in fact just under 60 metres, 59.8, and he really suffered there.
Representing Wales,
Adrian Davis, what a surprise package he's been. He's not the biggest guy in this competition. He's actually one of the smallest. He's only just a shade over 19 stone. But he's scoring well. He's in second place. And well in second place. 3 points ahead of Rodney Fullerton. Just staggering around a little bit. He hasn't got the biggest arms in the world. Looks pretty tidy at the moment, but he's finding it very, very difficult to breathe. Oh, it's gone! And that is way below Rodney Fullerton's performance of 59.8. Adrian Davis looks absolutely gutted, 45.3. He's going to be desperately disappointed with that one.
I guess you must be a bit disappointed with that.
Very disappointed. Not an event I've practiced. So I didn't know what to expect for myself. Say static strength, I'm okay, but maybe technically, that's why I'm going to lack the experience now to the other guys. Breathing, learning to breathe at the right time. It's just physically taxing on the cardiovascular system. It takes so much out of you. And then in the end, it just crushes down on you. And, well, like I said, it's experience.
Well, that described it perfectly, didn't it? It crushes down on you. So that is what faces Eddie Elwood. Come on, Elwood. He's certainly got his own fan club here. A lot of guys have travelled down from the northeast of England. And away we go. Well, we said Ollie Thompson's got big arms. This guy's arms are even bigger. So just cradling that enormous weight of 280 kilos and going pretty well. This does not lack pace. It does not lack rhythm. It's got a huge amount of strength. And he's heading towards the total that Bill Piddock set at 85.5 metres. He's slowing up just a little bit. He's just short. You can tell how taxing it is just by looking at his face. It's 82.8 metres. So Bill Piddock has got the win he so desperately wanted. But it's still a fantastic second place for Eddie Elwood. Bill Piddock the winner, and boy oh boy did he want those points desperately.
Bill Piddock giving himself a fighter's chance with that victory in the stone circle ahead of Eddie Elwood, and behind him the troops are gathering. Elwood into the final, but only 2.5 points separate the next four. Eddie Elwood able to conserve his energy now for the final, but who'll make it through alongside him is anybody's guess. Into the final.
Am I that close, am I?
You're not that close, you're in.
All right, good. One event free. Yeah, I'm happy.
I mean, because you can almost just sort of go through the motions, can't you, on the last one?
I don't want to, though. I'll be a sportsman about it. I'll still attempt my best, I think.
But it's kind of, you know, mission accomplished at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm happy, like to say, I could save a little bit for the final now. I haven't really pulled my puddings in this, so we'll see how it goes in the final.
How much better are you feeling this year compared to the last couple of years?
Psychologically, I feel a lot better because running up to the last 2 years, I've had a lot of niggles, hamstring pulls, and then I've come into the final and getting injuries in the final. But this year, because I haven't had the injuries beforehand, I feel a lot better psychologically.
So, have the rest got to watch out for you?
I think we have to watch out for each other, don't we? But I think they'll have the work cut out with me, that's for sure, because I'm going to try.
But you know, if anybody should be a strong man, Elwood should.
Myself and my partner have a restaurant, and we have the gym, and do a lot of strongman training on the side. We've got everything from a tread wall, toning tables for the women, a nice cardio area, we've got a heavy duty training area, as well as strongman training equipment. For a long time I've trained guys, whether it be from bodybuilders to strongmen, I'm just giving a bit back to the sport that's been good to me. I've only been a strongman myself 2 years, but I have an eye for training, and I think that's why I've improved so much. Once you get a little bit of the equipment, and you've got your background and your foundations of the training in the gym, and you've got it in the heart, and you can take it as far as you want to take it. I've never stopped training, so it's in my blood. I've trained since being a young lad. Whether I'm involved in promotion, whether I'm involved with coaching, they'll never leave me. It'll always be there.
Well, for the rest, the moment of truth has arrived.
Carry and drag.
So this really is anybody's group. Pern 2 from 4 to go through to the final. Bill, how are you approaching this?
120%.
Ollie?
Just give it my all like always.
Adrian?
Everything I've got.
Rod?
Fast, very fast.
4 men in contention in this heat. First up, a 100-kilogram anchor that's got to be carried 20 metres to a finish line. Then run back for this giant sword in the stone. Toss it over. And then drag it to the finish line.
Representing
Eddie Elwood nearest the camera, and Tim Thacker. He's not going to make it through to this year's final, but I reckon he will in the future. Very, very talented indeed. Eddie Elwood on his way to the final, but I'm sure will want to finish with a flourish. Away we go. 100 kilos. Makes it look pretty easy. It's awkward, though. Very difficult thing to lift up and carry. Squeeze it through the space there. Not exactly place it over the line, it just gets dropped. And running back pretty swiftly. Now this weighs 280 kilos. Over 600 pounds. Elwood moving ahead of Tim Thacker. It's a very useful performance once again by Eddie Elwood. In fact, he could go into the lead. Great applause from the crowd, including the man in black there, Eddie Elwood's father. And Tim Thacker carries on. Elwood's time, 29.97. That is going to be very hard to beat. Now, Thacker's got a problem. He came to a grinding halt a couple of meters ago, and to try and get this giant block of stone going again, it's so difficult. He's just got to get it across the line, and he does it. So Tim Thacker, 58.65. Absolute exhaustion for the Yorkshireman. Good performance once again by Eddie Elwood. Well, Eddie Elwood is certainly delighted, and the crowd will be as well, to see the Durham man go through to the final, where he will be formidable, I'm sure. Next, Rodney Fullerton and Welshman Adrian Davies. Both these guys have got a chance of making it through to the final. They're locked together at the moment on 27.5 points each. This fella weighs much heavier than Adrian Davies. That could be an advantage by the time we get to the stone and the sword. This won't make too much difference, but look at the way Fullerton is going. That is exceptional, and this is a guy who weighs about 24 stone. Now then, this could be very good. It could even challenge Eddie Elwood's time of 29.97. And more importantly, it could get Rodney Fullerton a place in the final. Adrian Davies is lagging a long way behind. And Fullerton has done it. That is superb. 29.26. That beats Eddie Elwood. And that unofficially is a place in the final for Northern Ireland. Poor old Adrian Davies has competed so well throughout this competition. He's not going to make it this year, but who knows what might happen in the future. It's a long time since Wales have had a truly great strongman. Not since the days of Gary Taylor, world's strongest man back in the early 1990s. But if this guy keeps on improving, who knows? His most immediate problem is to try and get that giant stone over the finish line. It's agonizingly close. He may run out of time, just 3 seconds to go. Rodney Fullerton can relax now. And Davies just finishes on the dot of 75 seconds. Wow, is he tired?
Well done, that man.
That wasn't so bad. I told you I'd go fast.
Talk us through it.
Well, you pick the anchor up, you run to here, and you go back, you flip the thing over, and you drag it back there. Oh, there you go.
What's the problem?
What's the problem? Not a problem. Blame me. That was good. I thought I'm good at dragging an anchor. If I got it up good and high, I could run quick with it, so I knew I was going to do a quick time with that.
Now, obviously, Glenn Ross won this 3 times, you know, for Ireland.
Yeah.
And there's a history in these things.
So they say.
Do you think you can do it?
I'm in the final. Anything's possible in the final. So we'll do our best.
They certainly will. Meanwhile, it's a chance for Bill Piddock and Ollie Thompson, the last 2 competitors in Heat 2. Bill Piddock, he's got an outside chance, but he'd have to win this. He'd have to beat Ollie Thompson, Adrian Davis and Rodney Fullerton by a full 3 places. I'm not sure that can be done. But here goes Piddock. Never say die, Bill Piddock. The Northampton man jogging along there, just ahead of Ollie Thompson, who's going very quickly as well. And these 2 guys mean business. It's neck and neck. Piddock going for all he's worth. Away to a good start. Ollie Thompson, absolute eyeballs out, and Ollie Thompson's taken the lead. This is going to be exceptionally quick. Ollie Thompson has won it, my goodness. Ahead of Rodney Fullerton, ahead of Eddie Elwood, and Bill Piddock, a frustrating 32.85. He's not going to make the final this year, but Ollie Thompson will.
Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah, feeling good. Did what I wanted to do, what I had to do, so yeah, I'm well happy with that.
And it was obviously head-to-head, that last event. So how much were you watching him?
I was aware of when he was ahead of me, when behind you can't really turn around. When we were dragging, I just thought, nah, don't stop, don't stop. Best guy to be against is Bill, because he set the standards against him. If you're ahead of him or one in near him, you're doing well.
Bad luck?
Yeah, no worries, best man won. I'm sure for him actually. So he's up and coming, he's only 26.
24?
24, sorry. So, I'm happy.
Ish.
Ish, yeah.
What advice would you give him for his first final of Britain's Strongest Man?
Relax, enjoy it. Calm your nerves a bit. Go up tonight, have a few beers. Forget about the heats and concentrate on the final. Just enjoy it, basically. Your nerves get the better of you sometimes, and it goes either way, so... Well done, mate. You deserve it.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
So youth triumphing over experience. Bill Piddock only 5th there, and a very disappointing result for Adrian Davis down in 9th. So what that meant was that Eddie Elwood, into the final, we knew that anyway, is joined by Ollie Thompson and Ireland's Rodney Fullerton. The obvious man to focus on is Eddie Elwood, an amazing physique. I mean, has his time now come?
Well, Eddie's 40 years old now, so it's now or never to win Britain's Strongest Man.
And do you think he can?
No, I don't think so.
What about the other 2?
Rodney Fullerton, fantastic static brute strength, but again, he's lacking in mobility, so no, I don't think he can win.
And Ollie?
Ollie Thompson, the youngest guy in the field, a dark horse. Who knows? He could do. He's surprising us all.
Well, Rains, Highland and defending champion Gosling were there already, joined by Elwood, Thompson and Fullerton in the final of the Citroën Vans Trophy. Well, well done to all 3 of you for getting through to the final. Fantastic effort. If there was anybody that you could choose to sort of sing a song to celebrate the achievement, who would that be?
Beyonce?
Close.
Here's some of Britain's strongest men.
I drove my tractor through your haystack last night. I threw me pitchfork at your dog to keep quiet. Now something's telling me that you avoiding me. Come on now, darling, you got something I need. 'Cause I got a brand new...
Today we got Eddie with us. He's known to everybody as Big Eddie. And then there's Ollie. His missus' name is Ivy. Ollie and the Ivy. And of course Rodney from Northern Ireland. To be sure, sir. Thank you.
Come my harvester, I'll give you the key. She made I laugh.
Carrie and Barry are a couple.
Hey, gorgeous.
A very odd couple.
I've got different levels. Search.
Leaf Hawk, the Queen.
Oh, love the smell.